Hi, welcome back to the cloud learning series using CloudMart application. I know some of you may have felt bored in the previous two videos as they are more theory specific, theory heavy, but in this video we will get our hands dirty. So we will dive into the real hands-on learning using the CloudMart application step by step. So in this specific video, as part of phase 1, we will start building the application and deploy it and run it locally in the Windows machine, and we gradually move to the cloud later. So the thing is, it's actually I'm setting up the application in the Windows local machine, so it needs some tools to be installed as a prerequisites. So those tools are basically the recommended setup is Java, Spring Boot, Maven, Node.js, npm, PostgreSQL, and your favorite IDE, any favorite IDE. I'm using the VS Code, and for API testing, we can use Postman. You can see my setup. So I have a Java version installed, so which is 21.0.11. So I have a Maven installed. I have the Node.js. I have an npm. So when you install the node, it at default comes with npm too. So I have a PostgreSQL installed. So please browse it in Google or refer in AI to download all these tools of the specific service, specific versions. So when you install PostgreSQL, it also comes up with the pgadmin interface. So that's a client to connect to the PostgreSQL database, so server. So you have this, while you actually install the PostgreSQL, it default comes with the username called Postgres. So you need to set up the password. So you remember that one, and then you make a setup here, log into that server using that Postgres URL. If you see the properties, so it is a local setup. I've given it as a name as local PostgreSQL. Server is basically the one we have installed, that is PostgreSQL. By default, it runs on the port 5432. So the username is Postgres. So you can set up this. Please refer in the internet or Google it and set up it locally in your Windows machine or any other machine you work on. So why this technology? So if you remember, we are using this Java Spring Boot as a backend. So we are choosing this actually because it's widely used in enterprise application. It will also help us to learn REST APIs, layered architecture, dependency injection, database, and many more. So for frontend, we are using React. For that, we need Node.v and npm to be installed locally. And for database, again, we're using the PostgreSQL. So we chosen this PostgreSQL because it is open source and widely used, and it also very close to real world enterprise applications and database usage. So now looking at the CloudMart project structure, so this is what the initial project structure should be. So we have the CloudMart folder. So it has all these folders majorly divided into backend, frontend, database, docs. So this structure is important. So later on we actually add a lot of other data. So we have to organize it well. So this helps us to organize the code better way. So the backend has CloudMart API, the front end has CloudMart UI, and the database has two files for now in the first phase, that schema.sql and seed data SQL. Schema.sql will have the tables defined, and the seed data is something that the tables, some data that we insert in those tables created. So docs, so we will have the nodes added in the docs folder, and the readme helps us to understand what exactly this repository is about. So after we actually add the code, once we build it locally, I will push it to the repository. You can refer the code. Let's just jump into the next thing. So I have the project here. I don't have yet the project structure created. Let me go ahead and create that project folder structure what we have seen just now. So I've created the required project structure here. So you see, so the backend database has two files defined. I have not yet populated that file yet. So there is a docs folder. So in the docs, we need phase one notes.md file. So there is a front end and there is CloudMart UI. So in this video, we will see how we actually have we'll design the database. So as if you remember our previous architecture, so we have this application architecture defined, and it has database has 4 tables. So it's products, customers, orders, and order items. So we will go ahead and create this. So let me add that schema file. So let me. So if you see, we have added 4 tables here. So it is create table products, customers, orders, and the order items. So understanding the relationship between these tables is important. So simply put, one customer can have multiple orders, one or more orders. One order can have many order items. Each order item refers to one product. So another file we have, that is to populate the data into these tables we created. So for now, we will only add data into products and customers tables. So I'm going to save these files before we actually execute that. So let's go ahead and create a CloudMart DB in the PostgreSQL server. So if you look at here, so we have one database called Postgres, which comes as a default DB as part of the setup. Now I'll go ahead and create a new database called CloudMart DB, but I will do it from the command prompt. So let me connect to the So this is the command we can use to connect to the Postgres server. So the password is the one you created while you actually install the application, install the PostgreSQL server. So now I'm going to create a table, sorry, not table, database, so which is CloudMart DB. So the table got created. Let's go ahead and see, verify it in the PG admin here. So you see database is only one. Let me refresh it. So if you see that CloudMart DB that just we have created is reflecting here. So currently it does not have any data. We can connect to that using another command. So psql-u username -d. So which database we are going to connect, the database name. So again, you give the password. So now we are inside CloudMart DB database. Let's verify the tables if it has any tables. So did not find any relationships. Did not find any relations. So we can also verify it in the PG admin. So if you look at here, CloudMart DB, under the schemas, under the tables, it is actually empty. The idea is that we will go ahead and execute this file. So let's go to that folder, CloudMart database. Now you try to execute that. So we are connecting to CloudMart DB, and we give the file schema.sql. Now try to refresh it. So that is not added. Okay, the schema.sql we added, it is not actually saved. Let's save that file. Now let's run back again. So it confirms that it has created the table. We can verify it that in SQL here, refresh. So you see the tables created. So currently it does not have any data. We'll populate the data later. So let's go ahead and run that. So we can see the data tables created here. Let me open another font. CloudMart database. Let's go ahead and verify the tables created. So I have opened another command prompt, another window. So we have already verified the tables created. Let's see if there is any data in any of the table. We'll take products table for now. So it does not have any data. Let's go ahead and run that. See data.sql. So again ask for a password. So it has inserted 4 rows and 2 rows in their respective tables as per this file. Now let's go back to the other window and see if it shows. So previously there was no data. After we actually ran that command, we can see the data added to the products table. So there is another table we inserted data into, that is actually customers. Let's verify that. Yeah, so we also see the data in the customers. So this is about the setup, the backend design. So in the next video we'll see, we'll set up the backend using the Spring Boot. So here we see the database setup. So in the next video we will go and set up the Spring Boot application, the complete backend layered architecture. As per our architecture, we follow that and we'll create the folder structure and add all the code related to that. So that's it for this video. See you in the other videos.